I want to welcome everyone to tonight's webinar. It is an alumni panel for our pharmaceutical sciences professional programs, specifically the applied drug development and the psychoactive pharmaceutical investigation programs, both the masters and capstones. So we want to first go into the agenda. We'll make our introductions. I'll do a quick program overview, and then we're going to hear from our alumni. I'll then go into next steps and questions. So in just introducing myself, my name is Marta McCoy. I am the admissions coach here for the School of Pharmacy for the Applied Drug Development and Pharmaceutical or Psychoactive Pharmaceutical Investigation programs. I'll be guiding the conversations tonight and asking our wonderful alumni about their experiences to help you decide if this is the correct program and school for you. So our programs that we offer, again, are the Applied Drug Development, the ADD program, as well as the PPI program. And both are going to be 30 credits each, about 1.5 to 3 years to complete for the master's program. The Applied Drug Development and the PPI capstone programs, those are 12 credits, and those take between 1.5 years to complete. Both programs are offered online. So tonight we will be speaking with our student speakers, our actually alumni. So Sarija, she is coming in a little bit later. Nicholas Rawolf, he's from the ADD Master's Program. Natalie Kavalko from the PPI Master's Program, and Kendall Walker from the PPI Master's Program. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and we're going to go into some questions. So with the questions that we've got tonight, what led you to either the ADD or the PPI programs at UW-Madison, and can you describe your journey? So if somebody would like to go first, that would be great.
Yeah, just kind of what led me. So I mean, first off, I'm born and raised in Madison. I've grown up here my entire life, but I did my undergraduate degree at the University of Minnesota. I know, boo, in chemistry. So I kind of have a little bit of a chemistry background. But kind of interimly during that period, I worked as a pharmacy tech, and I really kind of fell in love with the pharmaceutical world. I asked myself a bunch of questions like what these drugs are, what they do, how they're made, how they're approved, and all that sort of fun stuff. And that really led me into kind of pursuing a higher education. I really wanted to join a career field where I could get answers to some of those questions and potentially even work on doing that. I really fell in love with new drug research and development. Um, and of course, what better place to end up than the University of Wisconsin-Madison? I mean, it's such a wonderful school, great program. So I decided to apply, and now I'm here today. So yeah, that's just kind of how I got here.
All right, I can jump in off of that. So, I graduated from Miami University in Ohio in May of 2020. Kind of a turbulent time. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I knew I had an interest in research, but I had a lot of trouble kind of breaking into that field, finding a job. So I was looking into like master's programs and potentially even like a pharmacy degree. And so I was looking at UW-Madison and I saw the PPI program. And it seemed to combine all of my interests because I had a really strong interest in psychopharmacology. And it seemed like kind of the perfect program for me. So I looked into it a little bit more, contacted the coordinator at the time, and yeah, I ended up applying and getting in.
I can round out these stories here. I have been interested in mental health since I was a little kid, and I enjoyed trying to figure out why people behaved the way that they did. So I went to college and studied neuroscience, hoping to come up with the answer in structure and function, but it turns out it's way more complicated than that. I took a class on psychopharmacology while I was there, and fell in love with the pharmacokinetics and dynamics and considered a job going into pharmacy or going into pharmacology, perhaps. But then at the same time took a detour into falling in love with ecology, specifically the bugs and the funguses, which allowed me to then apply to this program because it combined the two with psilocybin, specifically being a very detailed example. I saw a TikTok about this program during COVID and decided to apply, and I joined the class immediately because it was an interesting way to combine my interests in psychiatry as well as pharmacology.
Yeah, great. Thank you so much, everyone. And what do you think was the most beneficial aspect of the program that you attended and why?
All right, I can go first if that's okay.
Sure.
Um, I would say like the kind of specialized expertise that this program gave me was really, really beneficial in helping me find a job and actually like get hired. I currently am the lab coordinator in a lab at the Medical College of Wisconsin studying psychedelics and other psychoactive drugs. So it was kind of like the perfect niche for me to join this program and to get that expertise and that training. It was kind of a unique thing amongst the people who were applying for the job of like me having such like an intimate knowledge of the field and kind of everything like that. So I would say, yeah, the specialized expertise is the main thing.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
I think the thing I got the most out of this was into like I liked staying up to date on research papers and sitting at the cutting edge of this really blossoming field and being able to learn things that as they're coming out almost. And I also really enjoyed getting connections with colleagues. And I got connected into the lab that I'm currently working in as I entered medical school and as I've pursued further degrees after the PPI program.
Awesome. Yeah, Nick, how about you?
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, just kind of round things up. I definitely totally agree with what Natalie said. I feel like this program offers a very like specified level of learning, but not only that, it's very well-rounded. At the ADD program in specific, you're taking classes from project management to GXP guidelines to PKPD practicing. So it really just gives you an opportunity to thrive in any different branch of the pharmaceutical field that you're looking for, which I think is amazing, and just is really helpful and is very skill based. I mean, the interview process is very easy at a future job because you have so many different things to talk about. I mean, there are things that they ask us that we are specifically talking about in class. And learning about in class, which I thought was really, really awesome. They did a fantastic job at being very specialized and specific and particular in what they're talking about. So I thought that was really beneficial.
Were there any, and this is for anyone, were there, you know, specific, courses or topics that were really of interest to you, or, what has like helped you right now in your career?
I remember one class was the history of drugs, and we got to learn about a lot of different illicit substances and their history from the very beginning when they were created up until where they are now and how they earned their spot in their scheduling class and what different things led up to that. And it's helped me a lot in discussions with patients and understanding why they might be addicted to certain substances or why they might lean towards using certain substances or why we've discriminated against some versus others. And I think it gave me a really good breadth of knowledge and something that most people spend their whole lives just fearing.
I was actually also going to say the drug history class as one of them because we currently study like illicit drugs in my lab and they're scheduling new ones all the time. And it's good to have that background knowledge of like how they make those decisions and why and kind of the cultural influence on that. And I would also say that the CNS drug design classes are probably the most applicable to me in my current position. I definitely use that knowledge basically every day. So that one was really helpful.
Yeah, and then I think to follow up on that, honestly, the most interesting one to me was kind of the full life cycle, excuse me, of the drug. So we went and basically dissected like how a FDA submission starts from preclinical to kind of even deeper into phase three or potentially even phase four clinical trials. So I thought that was really cool. But I think what most directly is helping me, since I'm actually like working currently right now, like in a wet lab, is the GXP class that I took. I mean, like I said a little bit earlier, I'm like directly applying things that I've learned into what I'm doing right now, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, nice. Nice. Thank you for all of that. And just thinking through your academic and career journeys. So taking all of that into consideration, what advice would you give a future student, somebody who is maybe in their undergrad, trying to decide what route to take, for their, major, or even deciding what to do, and really what to specialize in, possibly if they're interested in master's programs? What advice would you give?
I can take the lead on this one. I think honestly, first and foremost, like just really believing in yourself. Just remember that when you find something that you love, it's really going to lead you to wherever you want to go. I think that like this program, and I think Kendall and Natalie both mentioned this. We have such different and diverse backgrounds, but once you get here, you really feel reassured that this is somewhere that you're meant to be. I know there's a lot of people that potentially, we're looking at medical school or pharmacy school, like we talked about earlier. But once you really get here and um, you realize that like this is where you are meant to be, and you feel like you really belong, and that like I said, those skills are going to help you and you're going to jump into the workforce and be just as prepared, if not even better than, um, your future colleagues. So just stay true to yourself.
It can be really stressful trying to pick what kind of step you want to take forward, but it can be comforting to know that there are a few wrong steps to take if you follow something you're passionate about that has a good opportunity in front of you. You can always continue to pivot and change and adjust a little bit more later when refining your career. So I would recommend trying to follow something that you have a true, honest passion for. Because if you follow something that you're following for superficial reasons, like, I don't know, what someone else telling you that you should do something, then you're more likely to be unhappy later down the line and feel trapped or stuck.
The only thing I had was that just like don't be afraid to reach out to people directly. Like I've reached out for help from a lot of people, and it's definitely really helped me figure out my passions and figure out what I want to do. And I've never had any like bad rejections or anything. So yeah, it's good to put yourself out there as well.
Yeah, good advice.